I think everyone's familiar with, building the fire escape, or like when you go on a plane, you almost are programmed from young that, okay, there's an escape route if a fire happens, this is. But with crowds, right, it's rarely ever a focus lah.
So that's the million-dollar question that I think as we, get more details about what happened and more understanding of like what was the situation on the ground, in the next 24 or 48 hours, right? The question is how much, maybe this might be a question we'll be debating for a while. How much liability do the authorities have in an instance, in a very, very unfortunate accident like this? I hesitate to call it accident, a very unfortunate incident like this, right? How much liability should the authorities, the city, the police force, and the authorities in general, how much should they have for something like that happening? Because I think the argument on one side is that, all these are young people, they're out to party, and it was just kind of like unfortunate. They saw a crowd, but they decided, maybe it'll be okay, or it'll even be fun to some extent to actually merge with the crowd and just go with the flow. This is our first party in 3 years, Halloween, everything. Nobody would expect it to be so tragic an ending. Like they would think, if it gets too crowded, I'll just move out to the side or a bar or something. But yeah, it's how much blame would you place on the authorities here?
Wow, that is a tough question, man. Because I do feel that they are answerable to certain things. Because
like
I would
what,
imagine
like what?
if
What certain things?
like okay, I would imagine there has to be some sort of protocol or how you say like best practices if a crowd is starting to form in a public space. I've never worked in civil service, I've never worked in enforcement, but it feels like something that is big enough an issue to at least have some, like, okay, this might happen. What do you do when a crowd is reaching this size? When a crowd is this, there's riot police, there's all that. So it feels like that if this was gathering to that extent, feels like something would ideally be activated lah, So I think that's one thing I would say is okay, they can't be totally devoid of any responsibility lah,